Hello, hello. Today is day 43 of my 100-day inspiration challenge. And today I want to talk about how your life is the story that you tell yourself. So, what does that mean? What are the stories that you tell yourself? What do you say to people or to yourself about life? Do you view life as a puzzle? Do you view life as a game? Do you view life as hard, as challenging, as an uphill battle? I know in my conversations with myself, but also with other people, I hear all of these different variations. I've heard from one friend, life is hard, and she continuously says that. I've heard other people say life is exciting, life is an opportunity to grow. I've said myself or thought myself that life is like a puzzle, trying to figure out all the pieces. So all of these little stories, these little thoughts, they create your life because your life and everything in your life starts with your thoughts. It starts with the things that you think about, which become the words that you speak, right? So the reason why it matters is because subconsciously you are responding to these stories that you tell yourself. So for example, if you are telling yourself that life is hard, then you are responding, you are taking actions with the mindset that life is hard. However, on the flip side, if you are telling yourself that everything is always working out for you, or that life is easy, life is fun, life is an adventure, there is just a lightness about that. There is an excitement about that, an openness about that. And so you're going to respond in a totally different way, depending on the story that you tell yourself. So like I said, I used to tell myself that life is a puzzle. And it really was in regard to my schedule. I was doing a lot of different things. And so I felt like I needed to fit all the pieces perfectly. And this affected the actions that I would take. So I would try to fit things in just the right way, or I'd be like, okay, on this day, I'm going here. And while I'm here, I'm going to try and do this, and I'm going to try and do this. And I would try and line it up perfectly. But then I would plan it for like 3 days later, and I wouldn't end up doing some of those other things. It was just like a reason to put it off for the future. Rather than just taking action now and doing some of those things, I would put it off to the future, and then maybe that first thing would not work out, and I wouldn't end up going to that place. And so then it would affect the other puzzle pieces, right? Rather than just saying life is up to me, up to my decisions, and taking action to achieve those things, I was always trying to fit things into their perfect slot. And I felt like I was getting behind by doing that because life would come up, and life does happen to all of us, yes, but we are in control to how we respond to life. So the thought that you tell yourself, the words that you tell yourself, the story that you tell yourself is going to create your actions and how you respond to what happens in your life. And this doesn't just apply to life. This applies to all aspects of life. This applies to relationships. This applies to money. I know a lot of people have the story that money is hard or that money is bad. So many different things. Same thing with relationships. Relationships are hard. Men are cheaters. Women are dumb. I don't know. I hope nobody has that thought, but a lot of people have these stories. But what if you told yourself relationships are easy, right? Or a perfect example is health. We do this a lot with our health. So as a fitness instructor, I know a lot of people that tell themselves that, oh, my body is getting so old, or man, my back is really hurting because I'm getting older. And they continuously say that out loud. They continuously believe that. The more that you say those things, the more that they become your reality. You take that belief to be true, and then you give up that fight. You're no longer fighting to be youthful. You're no longer fighting to be youthful or vibrancy or having your vibrancy. You are just giving in to the idea that you are getting older And who is to say that because you get older, your body starts to fall apart? Only you do. You make that decision and you can change it. You don't have to make that decision. So that is the great thing. If you've been telling yourself these certain stories, then it's okay. These are habits that you have had, that you have developed. But habits can be changed. Through repetition, you can create new habits. You can create new stories that you tell yourself about your life, about money, about your relationships, about your health, so that you can create the life that you want. So think about the stories that you tell yourself. Do you know what those stories are? Get some pen to paper and think about what are the things that you tell yourself. Like I said, I used to say that life is a puzzle. I would say that life is challenging. I used to say that same thing, that I'm getting older and my body is falling apart. I used to say, when I was younger, I used to be a catcher. And I used to always tell myself that I was going to have a knee replacement by the time I was 30. And when I started getting 28, 29, my knee was in so much pain. I remember one day I was taking a shower and I was in so much pain just in that 5-minute shower. And then I learned about this concept and I realized that I had been perpetuating that pain. I had been encouraging that pain by the story that I had been telling myself, because I had literally been believing that I was going to need a knee replacement by the time I was 30. So I proactively changed that program, and it wasn't an easy thing because I had been telling myself for so long. Those programs had been running for so long. But now I tell myself that my body is healing itself, that my body is capable of restoring itself. And my knee has never been better. So there has been a huge difference from where I am now from where I was then. And that was about 3-4 years ago. So this really does work. And it's not necessarily an easy, simple thing. It takes time to develop this new habit. It takes time to develop these new stories, right? So I want you to think about the stories that you're telling yourself. And are they in alignment with the life that you want to live? I know that I did not want to have a knee replacement by the time I was 30. That sounds painful and expensive. 2 things that I don't want. So are the stories that you're telling yourself, are you telling yourself that life is hard? Is that the life that you want to live? Do you want to live a life that is hard? What if you allowed yourself to tell yourself that life could be easy, that life could be fun, that life could be enjoyable? Can you even imagine? That gets me excited. The idea of thinking about life as fun. Oh my gosh. Like, just the feelings that come up for me just thinking about that, it already changes my physiology. So think about the things that you want and think about the stories that you tell yourself. Think about the thoughts that you think, because it all starts with a thought. Pay attention to those thoughts that you're thinking. Pay attention to the words that you're saying. You can change those things. You can change your beliefs. And you can change your life. You can change how you respond to the things that happen to you. But keep showing up for yourself, you guys. If you do, regardless of where you are now, if you show up for yourself every single day, there is nowhere that you can go but up. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you would like to dive deeper and get some more free resources, you can head over to my website, showuptogoup.com. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.